Yo, what's up? Duff here. What you're looking at is my Inmotion V13. This is one of my favorite wheels. It's a great cruising wheel. Has good power. It's stable at speed. It's well built, and mine happens to have the Clark bumper system on it as well. But there's one thing about this wheel that never impressed me, and that was the suspension. The suspension is not great. And I kind of thought that I was stuck with the suspension. There's not much you can do about it. You know, it's a strut suspension, sort of similar to the V11, a beefed up version of what's on the V11. But I am going to try to do something about that today. So what I have here are some upgraded struts. Yes, these are third-party struts. I heard about these from Flip, EUC Chronicles Flip. I was not aware that these were available until he mentioned it in one of his videos. So I went out and I purchased these. I will put the website I got them from in the description below. They were $99. They came from China. It took probably at least 2 weeks to get them, Elsa. And yeah, we're going to install these and see how they are. Supposedly they are an upgrade over the stock Inmotion shock, so we're going to go through the process of doing this. In order for me to do this, however, I do need to take off this cover here because it covers the top of the shock tower. So that is step one. Now that I've gotten that off, I need to access the top of the shock towers, which are hidden behind these little rubber protectors. And actually what I need to do first is release the air. Release the air from the existing shocks, which are covered by this, which I need to get a tool to loosen it. Maybe I'll get my Leatherman and I will use that to pop this loose. Okay, got that one loose. And we're going to fully release the air in this. Doesn't take long. Okay, I've never done anything with these shocks, but what's interesting is right here is supposed to be the top of one of those shocks, and there's nothing there. And the other top is right here, which is the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, why is that? That's a good question. Let's see if we can get it out. So after removing the air valve cap, then there's another nut here. And I'm working off of memory, which is not always the best thing, but so I did the demo V11 that I had from eWheels, I did have to take that fully apart to look at the motor bolts. So I think this is all I need to do here. So let me get these off, and I believe it'll just slide out. But the top worries me. In case you're wondering, this nut here is a 21 millimeter. It's I got tired of using an adjustable on it, so just 21 millimeter socket. So one of the things required to take the shock off is that little tool that comes with Inmotion V13s. I got this Inmotion V13 used, and I'm pretty sure it did not come with the tool. The tool is like orange metal thing that there's a special fitting that you need to get the hardware off the top end of the shock. So didn't have the tool, but lo and behold, the internet comes in handy again, and I have 3D printed a tool. I did have to pay for the model, but I was able to print a tool that hopefully will allow me to get the top hardware off so I can get this freaking strut out. So okay, so that was a fail. 3D printed it, I put the tool in and tried to start turning the nut, and the end sheared off. So yeah, I mean this works as long as you don't need to apply any considerable amount of torque. If you do, you're screwed. So I ordered a tool, and work cannot continue until I receive it. So I'll see you when that happens. All right, just a little update here. A bunch of time has passed. I was waiting for one of these tools to come to me to take the next step. Some things have been discovered since then. I just want to show you the brown air shocks are the new ones. The black ones are the Inmotion shocks. I do have them out. But what I discovered was, when I was taking it apart up here, that I was missing the compression modules, the damper modules are called. When you these are what you use to adjust the rebound, right, and the damping and all that kind of fun stuff. So what I noticed was, the one side was normal. This is what the end of one side looks like. This is what you actually turn to adjust the damping on the shock. But on the other side, look at this one. Nothing. It's missing the adjustment thing. So, I mean, the suspension on this never felt correct to me. It was always kind of loud and clanky. And my guess is that is why, because that one module did not have the adjustment rod, so it was just kind of like banging around in there. So my next stopping point is I have now ordered a replacement compression module from eWheels. I have to wait for that to come. And then hopefully I can fully complete this project. So yeah, it'll get done sooner or later.
2 hours later.
Okay, after another day or two, we are back once again. I just received today my replacement compression shock from eWheels. eWheels hooked me up with this. And this is my new one, and it's going to be replacing the compression module that I took out that had no top piece for some reason. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But we're going to be installing that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just screw it in and then you adjust it once everything's back together. So I'm going to do that. You have each side on, in case you're not familiar with the V13 setup, on each side you have an air shock and you have these compression modules, which the compression modules are what you actually adjust for your dampening and rebound. So that's what those are for, and these are to give you your support depending on your weight and desire to have more or less movement in the shock. So let me get this back together, and hopefully this overly lengthy process can be completed.
2 hours later.
So this is what it should look like on the other side when you have it up there. So once that is in, then I need to put this fitting on top of it, screw it down, using the Inmotion tool that eWheels did also hook me up, and they did send me a replacement tool for the Inmotion V13, so I do appreciate that as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I am now putting air pressure. Shit, what was that? I'm now putting air pressure into the system, here comes the wheel, into the new shock, the new shocks. I'm going to use the same pressure that's recommended with the stock shocks for my weight. I'm going to put like 180 PSI in here and see how that feels, and then adjust the damper modules. And I'm not going to even bother to put all the Clark stuff on until I know that this is good to go and everything is. One detail, important detail that I didn't pay attention to. The bottom of these damper modules, they have a thread, right? And you can't just push them in and then screw this in. There's a thread on the inside of this, so you need to first thread this on to the damper module and then screw the whole thing in. Otherwise, there's nothing holding it in place, right? It would just bounce up and down and not really do what it's supposed to do. So make sure you do that, because I almost did not. Important detail number 2, you can't go back and do that procedure if you've put air into the system, because it's going to not allow the damper modules to get up close enough so you can screw the top nut in as it needs to be. So yeah, learn as we go, learn as we go. And just another quick FYI, when I took this thing apart, those damper modules were not connected to the end cap like they're supposed to. So again, this was obviously taken apart at some point, and when it was put back together, those were not reinstalled correctly. And that is probably why the suspension has never felt very good on this. So I'm hoping it's going to now feel much better. Okay, it seems to me like that damper module, the other one, is kind of messed up as well. There's a possibility that I might have to order another one to get it 100%, but I have I have it back together. I'm going to put it on the ground, take it for a very quick ride and see what it feels like. Okay, good news and bad news. It definitely feels better. It definitely feels better. Like I said, because the dampener modules were not correctly installed in here. They were just kind of flopping around, and the one still is because I believe that module was messed up as well. Like you can't secure it at the top like it's supposed to. So I need to get that addressed. I will probably get another damper module. So I have 2 brand new damper modules, and I think this will be 100% when it's done, but it's not 100% yet. So there's just a little bit to go. So I'll see you in another few days, I guess. Oh, it's been one of those days. I just recorded the whole segment and didn't realize that the battery died on the camera in the middle of it. One of those days. It's been one of those days. All right, V13. I'm working on here my newly brightly illuminated garage thanks to the new LED hex lighting that I have installed above, because I have the Master V4 ripped apart on my bench in the kitchen workshop area. So I came out here. The lighting was great actually for working on here, so that wasn't a problem. I got another damper module from eWheels, my second damper module. So now I have 2 brand new damper modules in here. In addition to that, I got a brand new damper fastening nut which connects the damper at the top. This one appears to be like damaged or stripped or something. It wasn't grabbing. So now with the 2 damper modules in here, they should be good to go. The one was totally missing the adjustment. The adjustment rod was broken off, and it appeared that they were not installed in here correctly, and they're just kind of flopping around in there and not being able to do their job. And it makes sense now that I think about it, because the way that they were in there, they would be able to help when you're compressing, but if there's a situation like I was jumping a curb and it had to expand because it wasn't connected securely, that's when you get a lot of rattling and weirdness before. And I just did a test ride, and it definitely feels better now. That is not the same now. It feels like it's supposed to. Now, the V13 suspension is never going to be great, and it's not going to ever be a veteran level suspension, but it feels better now. It feels more like I remember when I had the demo a couple years ago. So I'm happy about that. In total, I probably spent between the new air shocks and the damper modules and the hardware, I probably spent over $300. Jason at eWheels did cut me a break on some of the parts, but still, they were not cheap. So I probably sunk $300 into this, getting it back together, and I'm not sure how much time. I don't really want to add up the time, a considerable amount of time, because I kept hitting roadblocks and then having to address it, order parts, wait, address it, order parts, wait. So a couple cycles of that, but I think we're good to go now. So all that remains to do is I just have to install my Clark pad fairings. I don't think I have the motivation to do that tonight. I'll do that, I don't know, tomorrow or sometime this week. I'll do that. And then this should be fully functional and ready to re-enter my fleet of functioning wheels. So if you found this interesting, please think about giving this video a big thumbs up. Didn't go as planned for sure. Went much longer than expected for sure. But the end result is successful, and that's all that matters, right? Sometimes the journey to get to somewhere may be difficult, but it makes it more satisfying when you actually reach your destination. At least that's been my experience most of the time. So, did I say, if you found the video interesting, please think about giving it a big thumbs up. I think I did. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're going to subscribe, you hit the notify bell that's over there somewhere. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. What did you think about this process? Kind of annoying, right? Kind of annoying. I got to be up close and personal and more familiar with exactly how the V13 suspension works, which I guess is a good thing. Big thanks to my channel members. Thanks to some generosity in my live stream from last night, I am now up to 30 channel members. Here's a list of them. Thank you for your support. And I think that's it. It's Monday evening. I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Till next time, Duffman out. Hashtag V13. I'll be sure to get you some additional feedback once I get to do a more extended ride on the V13. I don't know, I think I'm going to have to do some steps or something, right? What do you think? Some extreme steps? That would be a good test.